Hi, thanks again for joining me on this Bible talk. Now this talk, it's called Mercy is for the Weak. Now, chances are you probably remember that quote from somewhere, and it's from, back in the 80s, they had the old Karate Kid films. We had like Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi, and these films, there were like 3 of them in the 80s, just from the original Karate Kid. There was like an ex-Karate Kid with a girl in the 90s afterwards. But in the first set of Karate Kid films, good guys, they were like Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. And now throughout these 3 films, they came across different bad guys. And one of the bad guys was an Asta karate teacher, and he was like Sensei John Kreese. He was quite a hard man. He was quite, I think, quite cruel in his thoughts and quite sort of violent. And obviously, so he said a lot of he said a lot of things, obviously, which we would disagree with. But actually, one thing that he said when he was in his dojo, he said was, "Mercy is for the weak." And obviously, when he sort of said that, it's obviously meant in a derogatory way, in a sense that if you're the kind of karate kid that you should be, you shouldn't be needing mercy, you shouldn't be weak. So when he said mercy is for the weak, it was meant in a derogatory way. But actually the statement, mercy is for the weak, it's actually true in itself. And I'm doing something, I'm glad it's true, because I'm applying that in my case, because since we're all weak and we all need God's mercy because we're weak. And I'd just like to read a verse from the Bible that just shows us this. And that's Romans chapter 5, verse 6. And it says, "For when we were yet without strength, in due time Christ died for the ungodly." Really, so that's all of us, because earlier on in 3:23 it says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God." So in terms of our standing before God in our own goodness, we're all weak. We all need his mercy. So I'm just glad that mercy is for the weak. Now the thing is, whenever we do things, now after we receive God's mercy, we do want to be living better lives. We do want, I believe, in a sense, we can be strong in the Lord when we're obedient, when we get saved and born again. We're listening to what God would say to us by the Holy Spirit. We read the Bible. We then walk in obedience to God, and I believe with God's blessing and his grace and his mercy, we can then go on to do great things. But it's still, in a sense, is a paradox, it's still in our weakness and God's strength. So in all our attitudes, I'm saying this to myself as well, in what you do, in all your attitudes, in what you say, and also in terms of like forgiving other people and relationships and being loving, we need to allow the truth that mercy is for the weak. It needs to underpin everything that we say and do. I'm saying this to myself, I'm just reminding myself of this, because it's God's mercy. And when you do that, you're acting in obedience. You can just know God's mercy on a day-to-day basis for your weakness. But that then makes room for God's strength in his mercy, and he can then just bless you on a daily basis, bless us on a daily basis, and then we can then take those blessings and multiply them for other people, all because mercy is for the weak. Okay, so thanks for joining me in this talk, and if this talk has blessed you, why not maybe share it with some of your friends? So thanks for following me on this talk, and God bless you.